Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube universe, what is going on with you on this Saturday afternoon? It is Saturday, June 15th, 2024, roughly 3:29 p.m. New York time. I am, of course, your always gracious host, Fallon from nootropics.com, coming at you with the coffee. Cheers. Good to see all of you rolling through here on a sunny Saturday in New York City. We are reviewing some of these classic stacks. As you know, I just wrote basically my entire memoir, my self-medication memoir, Nootropics and Research Chemicals, Memories from a Lifetime of Self-Medication. And in that book, I realized I don't even think I mentioned choline, Alpha GPC, CDP choline, some of these cholinergic sources that are pretty popular in the nootropics world. People seem to love Alpha GPC. People seem to love choline. A lot of people don't, but a lot of people do. But it was always one of those nootropics that just I could never like. As many times as I tried Alpha GPC in varying doses, I could just never bring myself to like it. It always made me depressed. It always made me numb. Alpha GPC has some implications for power output. I think if you go on examine.com, the power output and Alpha GPC's ability to enhance the physical body is more pronounced than perhaps even its nootropic effects, right? So it's always one of those that, like, you run into these nootropics that on paper look good, on paper look like, you know what, this is something I want to try. Alpha GPC looks pretty good on paper. And they shove it into everything. They shove it into the energy drinks. It's hailed as, it's like a mainstream nootropic these days. I mean, it's always been a mainstream nootropic, but for me, it's always been like one of the worst ones because it always induces a depression. It always induces kind of like mental numbness, anhedonia, right? It's always been one of those that I revisit from time to time. So Christine had some in her drawer here from Nootropics Depot, a brand spanking new unopened bottle of Alpha GPC, and I'm like, you know what? Let's give it another shot. Let's have another ride on the merry-go-round. And it's just once again, I took it the other day, and once again, I'm reminded why I don't like Alpha GPC at all, because there was that numbness, there was that depression, there was that just mentally dulling effect that I've always gotten from Alpha GPC, that I've always gotten from anything kind of like cholinergic. Cholinergics just tend to just depress me, so I stay away from them. I get just way better results with paracetam. So Alpha GPC, something that, you occasionally run into these things. It's like you'll use it once, you don't really like it, it sits on the shelf for another year or so, you revisit it only to find out all the reasons why it's been sitting on the shelf, right? So this is why Alpha GPC for me just sits on the shelf. It's mentally dulling. And it's interesting, they shove this stuff in energy drinks, but I never seem to get this kind of dulling effect. Like last time I took it, I took a very low dose, like 100 milligrams of Alpha GPC, which is a low dose, and that's kind of what they put in energy drinks. I think some even put more these days. I think Ghost energy drinks is known for putting many milligrams of this stuff in their drinks. But I don't get that same dulling effect when it's inside of an energy drink. which, you might say maybe they're not even putting it in there. Maybe it's, who knows what's going on there. But if I take it in like a supplement form, in powder form, I take it on an empty stomach, there's just that almost immediate sense of just mental dullness, that the brain's just not quite sharp. And it's just, once again, another reason why Alpha GPC, for me, just sits on the shelf, right? We're here in New York City. I'm thinking of things to enhance the brain. Everybody's moving fast over here, baby. Everybody's on that power walk. It's kind of like Alpha GPC to me is like going to Times Square. Every time I want to go to Times Square, I go to Times Square. And I don't like Times Square because there's just too many damn people. You're like a sardine in the sea. You're just... You can't stop. Everybody's power walking. Everybody's crammed together. But there is something about it. There is that marketing part of Times Square that makes you think this is a place you want to go to. Alpha GPC is a supplement you want to take. And then you go there and you realize that at least that particular place is not for you. Times Square is a place that we will be avoiding in the future, just because too many people. You can't stop. Everybody's crammed together like sardines. It's just a bunch of huge TV screens over there. But even though I've been multiple times to Times Square, if I haven't been there for a while, I think to myself, you know what? Let's go to Times Square. Only to be met with the same experience. So it's like, yeah, some of these nootropics I'll try, and you'll try over time. You'll have a bad experience. They'll sit on the shelf. You'll ignore it for a little bit, but then every once in a while you'll get like just a little itch to take it, only to be reminded why it was there on the shelf in the first place. So for me, Alpha GPC is a no-go. Most cholinergics are a no-go for me. They're mentally dulling. They're mentally depressing. They don't contribute to any kind of positive feelings. And sometimes people ask like, oh, is it the choline dominance, or, oh, do I have too much acetylcholine in the brain? Is that why I respond to this? Is that why I don't respond to that? And I don't know. I used to be up on studying the neurochemistry of all this stuff, and I mentioned this in the book. If it doesn't make you feel good, don't take it. Take it for a week. Do the trial. If it doesn't make you feel good, drop it. It doesn't matter why. It doesn't matter the reasons, the underpinnings, the neurochemical reasons why you don't respond. If it doesn't make you feel good, drop it and move on. If it's not contributing to the mental effects, if it's not contributing to you mentally, physically, spiritually, or whatever it is, just drop it and move on. It really doesn't matter why. You don't have to spend too much time thinking about it. Just accept the fact that it's not for you and move on. So Alpha GPC is like, yeah, it's like the Times Square. You take it, you go there once a year, you realize why you don't really visit the place that much. And, see you next year, right? So Alpha GPC and many of these cholinergics for me is like very much a see you next year type nootropic. In fact, it's so low on my radar, I forgot about it completely until I saw the bottle in Christine's cabinet here. I don't even think I mentioned it in the book. And it's just one of those see you next year nootropics, at least for me personally. So what's your experience with Alpha GPC? What's your experience with some of these cholinergics? For me, it doesn't work. But for you, it might be different. So drop a comment. Let us know your experience. Fallon, GoNootropics.com. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And I will see you very soon. Peace.